Hi, everyone. Angel here. Hopefully, you're able to hear me. Sorry, I'm a little bit late to the party. Facebook decided to change the way in which they do live streaming, and I was really not prepared for the lesson this morning. So here I am. Hopefully, you're able to see me. If you're on and you have any questions, please do send them my way. Today, I wanted to talk about managing a meningioma during this COVID crisis and just kind of review some of my insights regarding that. I know a lot of people are very scared about leaving the house. They're worried they're going to become sick. They're worried that maybe they're at a higher risk because of being a brain tumor a patient. So just wanted to kind of discuss my insights on that as it seems to be coming up a lot lately. So first, let me just give you a quick overview of who I am. For those of you who are new to my page, Meningioma Companion, I had been diagnosed about 8.5 years ago with a small pea-sized meningioma at the top of my skull. It was an incidental finding. It was a car accident that I had a really bad concussion from that landed me with discovering that I had this condition. And I had an MRI every year for a couple years, then went 18 months, then went 24 months. And it was in that 2-year span that I didn't have an MRI that it grew significantly, and it grew up against the main vein, which was not good, which then meant that even though it had only grown to about a large olive size, it grew in a direction that my neurologist was not prepared for it to go, and therefore it was problematic and I had to have it removed. So I was able to have my craniotomy in December 2018, and here I am today, getting close to 1.5 years post craniotomy, which is nice. So the first story related to COVID is as my personal story about getting my MRI. So the world is crazy right now. I think it's safe to say that everyone's really scared. Our anxieties are heightened, and we don't understand a lot of what's going on. And I do work in the medical field, and I have for over a decade. I've worked in cancer, diabetes, currently in mental health. So I do feel like I'm exposed to kind of a lot of what is going on, and I'm able to make sense of most of it because I'm still going to work, and I'm seeing, working in a medical office facility every day. So I'm not as scared as maybe the average Joe, but that's just a personal thing. So my neurosurgeon's office calls me, and my appointment's scheduled for the end of April for my MRI and my doctor follow-up. And they say, we really are trying to postpone all treatment. We're canceling appointments, and we're encouraging people to schedule them at a later date when everything settles down. And in my head, I'm like, I've already been stressed for 4 weeks that my MRI is coming up. I really just want to know that I'm okay. Postponing it really isn't an option right now. So she really did try to persuade me to postpone it, and I told her the following reasons. I said, my medical insurance changes on May 1st, and I don't know if it's going to be as good as the one I currently have, so I'd really like to get this done. I also don't know that I'll have medical insurance in the coming months, because who knows if I'll have a job at this rate. Things are pretty bizarre right now. I said, this is my first real MRI after the surgery. I mean, yes, I had one 3 months post the actual surgery, but all I saw was basically a blank space in my head and some tissue forming, but the bone hadn't grown back. I really didn't know what was going on, and I think that I would like a baseline. And really having, as I mentioned before, going 2 years without an MRI and really seeing that that was probably not the best choice for me, I didn't really want to waste any time. I wanted answers. I want to know that my bone is healing okay, that the tumor isn't growing back. When I had my tumor removed, they only removed about 99% of it. They had to leave some cells up against that main vein, because obviously if they nicked that vein, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. So I wasn't going to be at ease in this COVID world, also knowing I had to postpone this MRI and this doctor appointment indefinitely. So when I gave her all of these reasons and really kind of fought for my right to go in, they accommodated me. So yeah, it was a little stressful. I had to check in the garage. Everyone was fully decked out in their PPE gear. I had to alcohol wipe, the pen and the clipboard before and after use, which was really bizarre. When I got in, to actually sit and wait for my appointment. There was only 4 chairs in a waiting room that normally has about 30. And in a way it was nice because there wasn't a lot of people around. I got in and out very timely. And I did see my doctor, who normally historically runs about an hour late to every appointment, who was perfectly on time. And I saw him and my physician assistant, his understudy, and a really fabulous nurse. And I got all the best treatment you could possibly ask for. So yeah, it was a little awkward because we were wearing masks. And yeah, it was very strange having everything wiped and everybody in gloves and kind of geared up. But it was what I needed. And I'm really glad that I fought for it. And I'm really glad I didn't allow fear to keep me trapped in my house. I'm glad I didn't let that phone call change the opportunity for me to go get this done. So at least now I know I'm good. I'm well. I can hold out for another year, and hopefully I'll still be fine a year from now. But it was one anxiety I can put to rest. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this today was to just encourage you guys who have this condition. I know if you're on my page, it's likely because you either have a brain tumor or someone you know and love has a brain tumor. And in a crazy time like this, it's probably hard to know what's right. Do I go for my follow-up care and maintain it? Do I postpone it? Do I postpone my surgery? All of these decisions really have to be made for you. You have to decide what's going to be the lowest risk, right decision for you. But for me, in my situation, I knew that I needed to go to the doctors. I wasn't scared to go to the doctors. I had to have my temp taken 4 times that day because of how many rooms I had to enter. And it really was a bit crazy, but it was still effective and it was still nice to do. And I'm still here for about 3 weeks later. I'm still healthy. It's probably safer now to go to the doctor than it ever was because there's so little traffic. So yeah, just make sure you're putting your health as a priority. Make sure, this isn't a time to go get your nails done and your Botox. It is a time to continue your self-care. If you have a really bad toothache, don't postpone it and tough it out thinking, it'll just get better or I'll just wait, because you're going to probably get sick and have an infection. If you're having chest pains or you break a limb, don't keep ace bandaging it and think it's just going to heal on its own. You probably need a cast. So don't let media scare you. If you have a health need, please go take care of yourself. Sadly, at this time, people are dying at home of strokes and heart attacks and other conditions because they're too scared to go to the ER because they're too scared to catch COVID. At the end of the day, COVID is not that easy to catch. Yes, it does spread. It is a virus and people can catch it and it's invisible. So we are at risk. But you also have to really truly be around it and be putting yourself at risk. So if you're going outside with a mask on, you're keeping social distancing and you're taking it seriously with about 6 feet apart, if you're not going to large events or parties and getting stupid on the weekends with people that maybe you shouldn't be hanging out with that are also putting themselves at risk, I really think you're going to be fine. And I think that you need to have a little less worry around it. Someone messaged me yesterday through Meningioma Mamas, and I love that site, and I know that's where a lot of you have found me from. So it's nice to know that we met there. It's a great site. I love it, and it really helped get me through all of my difficult times pre-surgery. But someone there asked me, are we at higher risk because of this condition that we have? Are we at higher risk during this COVID crisis? And I guess the answer, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know, but I would say it's yes and no. Mostly no, because if you are healthy and well and you don't fall in the high-risk population of people, meaning you don't have asthma or high blood pressure or diabetes or things like that, if you don't suffer from those conditions and you're healthy and well and you're on watching weight with your meningioma or your post-treatment of at least 3 months or more, you're going to be fine. There's really no risk. Just follow the guidelines. If you have brain tumor that's cancerous, right, and you're going under radiation, chemo, any kind of treatment that is more immune compromised, then yes, obviously you need to take extra precautions. And if you've just had surgery and you're still healing, your immune system is going to be lowered and you're going to have to take extra precautions. So in those regards, it would be a yes, but for most of us, it would be a no. One reason we are at higher risk, and this is for everybody in the population, is the anxiety and PTSD that this virus is causing all of us. Mental health is a mess right now. People are very, very scared. And anxiety and stress lowers the immune system, which is why we all have to work a little extra harder to stay calm. And if that means taking walks, getting up and exercising, drinking a cup of tea, like whatever calms you, listening to some instrumental music, finding ways to be calm and be at peace, not allowing your stress and your mind to take over is going to be really important, because when you're stressed, you're sometimes losing sleep, you're gaining weight, you're not taking as good a care of yourself, your immune system goes down. The COVID crisis is causing this for people. That's an issue. But if you're putting in the time to really just take care of yourself and not let this consume your mind too much, you'll be much healthier and better off. So definitely try to stay mentally sane during all of this. I know it's a worrisome time, but I do think that we'll all make it out on the other side just fine. And I really am sorry if any of you out there have lost a family member or a dear friend to this. It's terrible. I'm scared to lose anyone I know and love. I knock on wood. Luckily, I don't know anyone who has contracted the virus who's fallen ill. I hope it stays that way. Keep in mind, people, COVID isn't going anywhere. It's a virus. It's here to stay. When this all started 2 months ago and they said, 2 weeks, be on lockdown 2 weeks, and we'll just suppress the virus and we won't overwhelm the hospitals and we'll be okay. Well, 2 weeks has turned into 2 months. At least it has here in Los Angeles. And we're all getting pretty antsy. We want to hike. We want to go to the beach. We want to get back to life. But we have a new normal now. And stuff is weird now. We are not getting out of the house without a mask anytime soon. We aren't going to be able to go to weddings and take vacations and travel the way we used to anytime soon. There's only two things that are going to help solve this problem. Either they're going to come up with a vaccine that works really, really well, and they're going to have to vaccinate the majority of 329 million people in our country in order for this to really level off, or they're going to discover a treatment plan that works really well. And that can be something as random as if you take an aspirin and a B12 vitamin while drinking a seltzer water, COVID just goes away. And that's really just joking, because in medicine we know sometimes we have incidental findings that, an aspirin cures this kind of a thing. So you never know. There might be some kind of treatment that works really, really well for this and does end up saving people. But until that happens, until there's a vaccine or there's treatment that genuinely works for this, we're in it. We're in it until. It's not going to go away in 2 weeks, 2 months. It might not go away in 2 years. So it's really important that we all embrace this new normal and that we just make the proper accommodations in life to keep ourselves safe, because it is a new normal and the virus isn't going away. Viruses don't go away. They tend to morph and become new viruses. That we do know. So settle in it, because it's here to stay. And that, I know it makes people crazy. We don't know if the kids are going to go back to school. We don't know if a lot of people will be able to return to work. Businesses are closing. It really is a bizarre time, but COVID is with us. It is in our world now, and it is not going anywhere. The sooner you embrace it and become content with it and a sense of ease with it, knowing that as a society we can do our part to just keep it at bay, the stress levels and anxiety levels, I think, will level off, and you'll feel comfortable to get out there and live your life and go to your doctor's appointments and things like that. So definitely encourage you to find the things that you need to do to be at peace with this, and to, if you are locking yourself in the house and you're terrified to go out, it's a really good time to start working on some practices to get out there, because it's really not going anywhere until one of those two things happen. And I hope one of those two things happen sooner than later. But I'm also a bit of a realist and know that we're in this for the long haul, at least at this time. Let me just look at my list here, because I think there might have been a couple other questions that was asked. Someone just asked, do you have any tips for people who do have underlying conditions like high blood pressure, what have you? The only tip I have, and it's something we're doing in my clinic, is we're giving people more of their prescription than usual. So if you can call your doctors and ask for a 2 to 3 month supply of your medication, I think that that's really ideal to have it on hand. we don't know if this COVID thing spreads and becomes a bigger deal or morphs into something and we have to be on a more severe lockdown again in the future. It would be nice, obviously, to have your medications on hand so that you don't have to worry about getting to a pharmacy or waiting in a long line, or to pharmacy running out of the meds, because now a lot of people are ordering more in bulk, so there's less supply. So just keep that in mind. If you can get your hands on a little extra, that never hurts, and most doctors are willing to approve that. Always have 2 to 3 weeks of supply of food and water in your house. Make sure you're prepared in that way so that you can eat well and be well. But generally, I don't have a whole lot of tips other than to just encourage you to continue to live your life. Do it safely, wear a mask, keep your distance, wash your hands. We should have all been washing our hands in the first place. So hopefully we're doing that still, or now more than ever. And if you're sick, don't leave the house. Give that courtesy to others. Don't cough, don't sneeze, don't do any of that stuff around anyone else. Like, keep it to yourself. If you're not feeling well, stay home. Make sure you're taking your temperature on a regular basis. This can creep up on you, and a lot of times COVID has a low-grade fever. People who have a 99.9 to 100.9 range often don't know they have a fever. So get yourself a thermometer on Amazon if you don't have one, and take your temperature with more regularity, just so that you kind of know that yes, you are healthy, because occasionally people will have a temp and not know it. Let's see. I think that was it. I'm not even sure I'm Facebook Living correctly right now, because I can't see who is watching. It looks like it says 7 people, but I don't see any questions. So if nobody out there has any comments, and again, I don't even know that I did this right, then I guess I can certainly wrap up for today. A reminder that I'm Angel. I am a meningioma tumor patient and survivor, and forever diagnosed with this, because it will be something I have to monitor long term, as will all of you. I appreciate you being here. If you need me in any way, please feel free to book some time with me, or private message me of maybe how you can find me resourceful. I do really work as a patient advocate. There's a lot of you out there who don't really know where to start when you get diagnosed with this. Don't quite understand who to call, what type of appointments to make, how to get your foot in the door. Having worked in the medical field as a director for a very long time, I do kind of understand what doors to knock on, and I certainly can be of help to you in that way. And even if you just need a shoulder to cry on or someone to vent to, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I am an administrator through and through. I'm very much a businesswoman in my day job, but I do have a lot of heart for this diagnosis, and I remember how lonely I felt when I didn't know to go to the Meningioma Mamas page, and I remember how scared I was and how nobody out there understood, because nobody had been diagnosed with the brain tumor. So my fear was all mine, and I owned it, and I understood that, but it was very scary, and it was very traumatizing in many ways. And surrounding yourself by someone or people who understand and have been there is really helpful. I know it really very much helped me a lot. So I'm here if you need me. You can always give me a call, send me a text message at 424-239-9366, 424-239-9366. You can message me through the Facebook page or visit me on my meningiomacompanion.com website. I also will see some of you in the Meningioma Mamas page. It's always great to follow all of you guys there. I wish you well. I wish you health and success. And please don't let COVID get the best of you. We are all in this together, although it looks different for all of us. Some have lost jobs, some are thriving, some are very scared about how to pay the rent and put a meal on their plate, and others are just happy to be home Netflixing and chilling. So it's a big variety of opinions on this, but COVID is here to stay. Stay safe and protect yourself, and get out there and still take care of yourself, because life is meant to be lived, and we still can move through it even in this crisis. Take care, everybody. Bye.